the cameras. Okay, we are on. I'm gonna go ahead and just do it insta. I'll just do a video quick. Oh. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit record. Here we go. Hey, it's the Death of a Dream podcast. You're here. That's right. I know. It's crazy. We're going to dive in with our great things. So my great thing from last night was I think I kind of made a mom friend, which this is big. It's super hard. First off, I've always struggled with this idea of making friends. It's always been a challenge to me. I don't know why, because I'm lively and I'm upbeat, but I've been working on discovering why. Why don't I have friends? And, part of it obviously comes with the territory of which I work in. It's just kind of a loner sport here. But also, I don't know, just weird. And on top of that, I'm a little bit probably intimidating, which I'm not. But there is this kind of, the mom. I feel like I'm that mom, and I didn't mean to be, but here we are, and now I am, and I just don't know how to, be normal. I don't know how to, do you want me to say hi? Are we supposed to be friends? And then, I get an inch, and not even an inch. Like, a mom will look at me and smile or something, and she's probably smiling at my kid, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, she wants to be friends. And then I'm all in. Like, hey girl, hey, what do you do? Do you want to be best friends? Let's just be best friends. How do you even make friends? And then I totally just turn them off right away. So last night I was just like, okay, be chill. Play it cool, but not too cool, because then you'll look stuck up. And so this mom had set up this play date for our two girls to play, and she's kind of sitting over in one portion of the park, and I don't know her, so I don't, other than a Facebook Messenger exchange, we don't know one another. I don't really know what she looks like. And so I'm like, okay, play it cool. Luckily, Baylor wanted to go over and play in the little kids side of the playground, and this mom was on the other side. And so I got to play it cool because I had to go to the other side. And I kind of made her approach me, which was probably the wrong thing. She's like, are you Hannah? And I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh, hi, I was going to come over. And then, she's really trying to master these monkey bars. So we get through that, right? And we just kind of chat. And she's kind of talking about, yeah, I have older kids, but I don't really know anybody in my daughter's grade. And so I felt like I needed to kind of reach out and get to know people. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, how do you even do that? How do you navigate this? How do you reach out to people? How do you just be normal? And she's like, yeah, it's just tough. When we moved here with my first kid, we didn't know anybody, and once they started getting into sports and started doing things, had activities, we started to get to know some more of the parents. So she's like, but I haven't done that with my youngest, and so then I'm like, wait, and I don't say this because, I'm trying my hardest to make mom friends. It's a struggle for me. So I'm trying not to ruin it the way I've ruined it so many times before, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, let's be best friends. Do you want to get matching jackets? Yeah, I know. I love the color yellow, and my kids too. We should hang out more. Do you want to hang out? Do you drink wine? Do you drink coffee? What do you like? I just want to be like what you like. I don't know. What do you want to do? Let's just be friends. Can we be friends? Oh, you're not talking to me anymore. Dang it. Right? And so I'm playing it cool, and she kind of comes out, right? Like, I'm trying here. to kind of reach out and know some people. And I'm like, what? And you chose me? I am beyond. So that's my great thing. I think, and I know that it's because of my kid and the kids wanted to hang out, but I almost think that I got kind of mom shopped last night. And we'll see if we get another play date. I did message her and I was like, that was so great. It was so great. You know, anytime that you want to get the girls together. So obviously we're waiting kind of to see how COVID all pans out. And here in the state that I live in, we are kind of full back to things. We start full on school, no real restrictions on Monday. And so her and I had messaged back and forth like, yeah, we'll just see where school kind of goes. And if we can, we'll get the girls together again. So we'll see. Jury's still out. I don't know. Maybe we won't be mom friends, but it felt like, oh my gosh, I have someone that maybe wants this, and I didn't have to be weird about it, or I like really tried to keep myself in check for my weirdness, and it was kind of cool. It's so hard. It's so hard to make friends. It just is, especially when you're just a little bit, in case you haven't noticed, different, right? Because I can't likely go up to someone and be like, oh, hey, yeah, oh, you work at a hospital? Yeah, me too. No, like now I have to go up and tread lightly because in an instant, someone could listen to this podcast, follow me on social media, and know everything. And that's a little bit different from some people. So there's this level of transparency that most people don't have. And I don't know, like, do I want you to listen to my podcast? Do I want you right here? Because you have a more in-depth, if you live in the town that I live in, you have a more in-depth view of who I am. And you have this ability to, especially in the small community I live in, to like spread that I'm either crazy or sane or it's the coolest thing ever. But like, everyone's interpretation of your art is different. So you never really know. And that's a little daunting at times. So I try to keep it under my hat. Like, yeah, I'm a writer and budding author, hoping, looking for a book deal right now. And I also do a podcast. And, I'm pretty active on social media. That's my job. No, I don't lead with that. I'm just like, oh, staying home with the kiddos until we figure out COVID and how everything is going to work. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, nah. Like literally building an empire every day, secretly upstairs in my bedroom. I don't know. Are you down with that? Is that weird to you? Do you want to be friends? Nah. We'll just leave all that till later, till it comes up in conversation, but I always have been in this podcast. And yesterday I talked to one of my friends, Karina, and she's actually featured in the bonus feature here. And we just got to know each other through podcasting and through some groups. And when I saw the way that she does what she does, right? She sells her business online. She has an online business. I was so inspired to model that, right? To not be that person who has to talk about it all the time, to let people find you and be what you're about and take you in and accept you and then want you. And so I really built this knowing, the people within my circle likely don't listen to podcasts yet, right? And so, because I would say 90% of the people that I tell that I do a podcast are like, oh, that's interesting. How do you watch that? Like, you can't. Now you can, right? We're on Facebook Live every morning. We are on YouTube. Now you can watch it. We're on TikTok. We do kind of TikTok breakdowns of this. But knowing that a majority of the people that I would tell wouldn't know what I was talking about meant that I probably am not going to be able to talk about this and gain followers, which is crazy because you think about how you build a network, it really is word of mouth. And so when you're first starting out, you're so dependent on the people within your circle, right? And my circle really wasn't going to be the thing that did that for me. So I knew that I would have to grow this organically. I knew that I wouldn't be able to lean on those people. And because of Karina, I didn't want to. I didn't want to have to be the person at mommy playtime being like, I do a podcast, you guys should listen to it. You should listen. You should definitely listen. Hey, do you want to be friends? Just kidding. I just need you to listen to my podcast. Will you listen to my podcast? No, I want people to come here because they're interested in what this is about, in what we're about here. I don't want you to come here because you feel bad. Like, yeah, there's this weird mom at the playground and she does podcasts and I'm going to listen to it because she kind of kept saying it. And the next time she asks about it, I want to be able to tell her that I listen to it. I don't want it to be about that. So that's not what I lead with. That will never be what I lead with. Because that's not what it's about. It really is about finding a community of people who need me, and I won't know that if that's what I lead with, right? I won't know if you need my podcast. If I'm like, hi, my name's Hanna. I do a podcast. You should listen to my podcast. I don't want people to listen to it who it doesn't match or who it doesn't vibe with what they're about, right? So that's my great thing. I think I made a mom friend. It's still early. I don't know, but it was kind of cool to feel like I was being mom shocked. I'm like out of breath just thinking about it. Okay. Be cool. I don't think she'll find this or listen to it anytime soon. Thank goodness. But that's never happened before. And so I'm pretty pumped about it. Okay, that's all. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. Today, of all days, this is the day, people. This is the day. I have been struggling. Since I left my job, I've been like, okay, maybe you're being unrealistic. Maybe you need to settle. Maybe you need to just go back. Go back to a normal job. Just do it. Everybody does it. You're not abnormal. Settle. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. You realize you're embarrassing yourself and everyone that you know by doing this and continuing. Please stop. Can you just stop by now? Okay, thank you. No. Here's the thing. We can't settle. We can't. We can't settle. I have every time, and we'll see. This will be the big test, what I'm going to talk about today. But I have every time that I stood up, that I waited, that I said, nope, that's not good enough, I have ended up getting what I asked for, period. Every time. I'm not kidding. And there would be other times where I didn't feel so bold, where I was just like, no, you can't really do that. You realize that, right? Like, that's cute, but you don't know, you shouldn't, right? And the only time that I stood up for what I wanted was after I had been severely mistreated in a relationship. And I was just like, you know what? Even that person I was dating that I really thought, like, this is going to be the guy, this is going to be the thing, even that person wasn't all the things that I was looking for. And so I decided that I was going to stand and wait and continue waiting until I found exactly what I was looking for, until I found that person that checked all of the boxes. And my boxes were ridiculous. I've talked about this on an episode in the past. They were absurd. Like, 10 to 12 very ridiculously specific things. But I waited until I found that person that fit all those things. And I wasn't going to ever sell myself short again when it came to finding the person that I wanted to be with forever. And I made that decision after I had broken up with whoever the loser of a guy I was dating before I met my husband. And it doesn't always work that quickly. And honestly, at that point, in that moment in time, it felt like eternities until I met him. And I just knew that I was never going to settle for anything less than that person that I envisioned in my mind at that point. And I don't know, had it taken 20 years, had it taken 5 minutes, had it taken 6 months, would it have been a different story? I don't know. But I truly believe in this. And here's the problem with waiting. We are built into this new society, this hybrid society that we're living in, which really prides itself on, and most of the major corporations pride themselves on, this instant gratification. I mean, I won't even wait 2 days for shipping anymore. That's asinine. Get out of here, right? I need it today. And it's this thing, it's that instant gratification. And since our world really is catering to that right now, all your social media apps are built on that, right? The instant that someone pushes a like button, you're served a notification, not the instant 12 people push it, the instant that one person puts it. And so you're built into this world that naturally aligns with you wanting and craving that instant gratification. And so telling yourself, no, we're going to wait until I find a person or until I find that job that checks all the lists, that's crazy, right? Because we are so used to having it overnight shipped, to having it a notification right after it happens. Everything is so real time, and we get used to the frequency of that gratification. And so when we're telling ourselves, no, be patient, wait, hold on, it seems really daunting because everything else in our life really operates and caters to that instant gratification model, right? The like, the share, the whatever, that pop-up. That's what we're catered to. And so I'm telling you right now, the greatest thing that you can do is hold yourself accountable to the things that you really want. Because here's what's going to happen. All right, so say that there's okay, I'm going to use a real instance. I want a bike, okay? There's more to that story. But since I want a bike, I need a helmet. And there's this beautiful, gorgeous helmet, and it looks different than all the other helmets, and it's rose gold, and it has vegan leather straps, and they're the camel color that I like, and this helmet is above and beyond any helmet that I've ever seen. And right now, it is not in stock. Right? Ugh, hard swallow. But this is what I know. Okay, so I've added other helmets to my cart, but every time that I look at them, all I can think about is the rose gold helmet that I really, truly want. That's it. And every part of me is like, you're going to need a helmet. You want to ride your bike, you're going to need a helmet. You need to just order a helmet already. You're going to have to settle. But I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get that helmet. And it's going to be about 2 strokes short of what I envisioned for my dream helmet. And every day I'm going to long for that rose gold helmet. And you know what's going to happen? In a month, that helmet's going to become available. Or maybe in a week. Or maybe in 2 days. Or maybe in 3 years. But it's going to come available. And the second that it does, I'm going to go, this white helmet is okay. it kind of has the things that I want. It kind of checks the box. It's not the leather straps, but it is the same color. It's not the rose gold, but it is a matte white. I could be happy with this helmet. But I could really love the rose gold helmet. And I'm using material things as it's easier for me to talk about because it's so tangible, but apply this to anything, right? You know, even with your dreams, even with your dream job. Well, this checks most of the boxes, and sometimes those things you have to kind of work your way up. So some jobs we have to take for experience versus dream. So I understand that. But what I want you to do is stop settling for what isn't it and hold on. Right? Sometimes the things that we want just don't come with 2-day shipping, but they might be here in a month if we had just sucked it up and waited it out. Right? But we're naturally in tune to get that instant gratification. That's what we want. We want the yellow notification up in our box that we got it, that it was here, that it was that thing. You know, I was telling my husband, hey, I'm really excited because I'm going to apply for the 3rd year for the TED Fellowship Program. And TED Talk is one of my things on my list, and this fellowship program really started being a thing around the time that I started writing that. And so it's just always been what I wanted to do and where I wanted to strive. And so I was telling him, yeah, I'm excited. This is my 3rd year applying. I've been working. And he's like, oh, well, you haven't gotten it the last 2 years. So why keep going, or why apply, right? And I'm like, but I want it. And so every year that I continue this work, every year that I keep developing, every year that I keep talking and learning and growing is another year of experience to cap onto that application, to continue the conversation, and they will see that I'm invested in this, right? And he's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of, why would you keep going? Why would you keep trying? They've already told you no twice. And that's the thing. That's what it is for me. That's what I want to do. That's one of the things on my list. And so settling really isn't an option. Do I think that it's realistic today? No, but that's not really up to me, right? I'm not the one that's going to make that real or not. These people are. And if I'm not putting myself in front of them, when is that going to happen? The TED people are just going to stumble upon my work out here in small town Iowa? Come on. Right? But I can't settle for a different stage because I will, right? And that'll be a part of the strategy to get to those bigger stages, or putting myself on stage, period. But I have to keep striving. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep trying things that are related to the pursuit of that bigger thing. And I'm not willing to settle. I don't care. Is it crazy? Today, maybe it's crazy. But it's a lot less crazier than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. Right? And that's the importance of being specific about it. Right? And so I told all of you that I'm looking for this yellow bike, right? And everyone's telling me, Hannah, there are other yellow bikes in the world. You can find a yellow bike. And I'm like, no, not like this yellow bike. Okay? This yellow bike is my very essence. And if you want to see said yellow bike, it's in my Instagram. Just go ahead and click on my profile and you'll see it in there, okay? It is the essence of me. Reminds me slightly of my childhood bike, and it's where I'm meant to be. And so I just kept getting turned down. You can't find this bike, and it's not being found, and it's not in the stores. And in order to find it, you're going to have to trek across every Walmart in the state of Iowa to find it. And I had done a pretty good job. I had checked all of the ones in my community, which is about 5, all of within about an hour. I had my sister-in-law, Jasmine, check the ones in her community, and she did that because she is a beautiful soul. And I had people dropping into my DMs like, hey, I see that it's available in my town. Check here. Hey, I see that it's available here. Check here. And wow, what a beautiful thing. People who didn't even follow me on Instagram were helping me find this bike and dropping into my DMs and telling me where it showed up as available online. And so last night I was like, you know what? I haven't checked on that bike in a while. I should check on it. And I pull it up and it says available. And I'm like, wait a second. And the weird thing about this bike is that it's showing as available, but it has the same SKU as all of the different colors. And so you have to check in the store to find it. And right now, given that it's COVID, you can't check in the store. You can't find it. And so you have to physically go there and see. And since the SKUs are all the same, you don't know. And you can't call right now because it's COVID and they're not checking inventory. So we've been doing the rounds. We've been looking for this bike. We can't find it. Everyone's just saying, just order a bike. I'm looking online at other places trying to find this bike, but this bike is upwards of $300 at other places, and that's crazy to me. And so, yes, and $300 plus like $50 to $100 shipping, okay? That's madness. Otherwise, it's sold out everywhere else, every normal place that you could get it. So last night, I'm like, you know what? We better check in on this bike. I'm not letting this dream die. It's that bike or no bike. We're getting there. Okay? And so I pull up, it says available. I'm like, that's crazy. And then it says a store that's about a half hour away from me, 45 minutes away from me. So then I add it to my cart and it says there's one available. Check out now. And boom, I check out and then I go to look at it and it's gone. You can't get it anymore. And so I'm so nervous right now because we've had so many crazy instances of this bike that maybe it isn't the bike. And I'm just like feverishly updating and checking my email like, please don't call me Walmart. Please don't tell me that wasn't the bike, that this wasn't real. And I just think, I truly believe that things that are meant for you will work out. And where we do ourselves a disservice is when we settle. When we settle for things that are just good enough. I want great for you. I want the perfect thing for you. I want the yellow bike with all the fixings. I don't want you to go make your basket a different color and try to make this one work. I want you to keep going until you find it. It's going to work out or it's not, and then you'll know that it wasn't meant to be. And that's what I decided with that bike. Nope, it's that yellow bike or bust. And we're not settling for anything else. And so, if it happens, it will happen. If it doesn't, I wasn't meant to have a bike, and we shall just forever settle. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the helmet, too. Okay, sold out everywhere. I guess when it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And I can't settle for something less, because here's the bigger problem. I'm going to end up spending that money twice, right? If I don't get exactly what I want today, eventually when it does become available or I do have the money or whatever, eventually I'm still going to want that thing. That's not going to go away. The perfect instance is there. And so when it comes available or when I have whatever, I'm going to still want that. And that's why I want you to stop settling. Dang it. Wait. I know it's hard, but that is going to be the biggest difference in you living life on your terms and you just living your life, right? And sometimes your life according to other people, you don't have to settle. No matter what they tell you, You don't have to settle. You don't have to buy the light yellow bike that isn't on brand at all. Hold out. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to send you a picture of me on this bike and tell you that I got it. Right? We'll find out soon. But please stop settling. You owe it to yourself. All right. That's all that we have today. Go ahead and check out all the things. We have that bonus episode from last night. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.